The Super Saiyan transformation has one of the most iconic and recognizable designs in not just anime, but throughout pop culture in general. The spiky golden hair, the blazing yellow aura, and no doubt those piercing greenish eyes are all traits that helped popularize the Super Saiyan form's design over the years. But did you know that Akira Toriyama originally wanted the Super Saiyan form to have red eyes? In today's video, I'm going to go over a brief history of the red-eyed Super Saiyan, and I'm going to discuss whether or not its inclusion in Dragon Ball Z could have worked, and we're going to talk all about it right now. How's it going, everyone? InnovativeJdawg here, and welcome back to yet another Dragon Ball discussion. Of course, the topic for today is going to revolve solely around the original concept of the Super Saiyan design having red eyes instead of green eyes. But not only am I going to talk about the history of red-eyed Super Saiyan, I'm also going to explain how I personally think the red-eyed Super Saiyan could have worked in the overall story of Dragon Ball Z between the Frieza and Cell arcs. But before we dive deep into the video though, make sure you smash that thumbs up button so that other Dragon Ball fans can see this video as well, and also subscribe to this channel so you can stay up to date on all of my Dragon Ball content since I make a ton of it. With all that being said, let's get right into it. So right off the bat, I just want to give a quick shout out to Geekdom 101, who recently made an amazing video analyzing the production history of the red-eyed Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z's manga and anime before it was altered to be that green-eyed design that we all know and love. I'll leave a link to his video in the description, or you can click the card in the top right of the screen to go and check it out, because that video was the major inspiration behind this video. But to basically summarize the history of red-eyed Super Saiyan, Akira Toriyama himself wanted Super Saiyan to have red eyes because the color red reflected a strong sense of rage, and when we tie that idea into Goku's Super Saiyan form, a transformation that came about from rage and anger, that was the entire purpose behind how this form was achieved, it makes sense for his eyes to be colored red to reflect that angry emotion. And up until the anime decided to give the form green eyes, which would no doubt become the concrete design for the form for years to come, Toriyama actually stuck with this idea of having a red-eyed Super Saiyan as seen through some of the old colored pages for the Dragon Ball manga, and I'm certain that some of you have already seen some of these images where Goku's Super Saiyan form is shown to have white hair and red eyes, a design choice that no doubt separated these older colored manga chapters from the full color editions that we see nowadays. But before the anime ended up going with the green-eyed design, we've actually seen Super Saiyan Goku have red eyes in some production material for the anime that was drawn up by Toriyama himself, with the most notable example being material for DBZ Movie 5 Cooler's Revenge. Now, let me just point out that DBZ Movie 5 was already in pre-production while the Frieza arc was airing for the first time in Japan back in the summer of 1991. Episode 95 of the DBZ anime, which was going to be the first appearance of the Super Saiyan form after Krillin's death, aired on June 19th, 1991, whereas Cooler's Revenge wouldn't release until a month later on July 20th, so as you can tell, these two products were being made around the same time, which is why when Toriyama drew up designs for the Super Saiyan form for the Cooler movie, which no doubt there was a lot more production time being put into that product as opposed to the mainline anime, he stuck with his original red-eyed design before someone on Toei Animation staff decided to alter that design for the anime episodes, giving the form green eyes instead, which is what we saw in the final product for not just episode 95, but we saw the green eyes make an appearance in movie 5 to stay consistent with the mainline anime despite those early designs drawn up by Toriyama. And the rest is history. The red-eyed Super Saiyan design eventually faded away in the colored pages for the Dragon Ball manga, and the green-eyed design stuck around as the anime kept pushing forward into popularity. Because of this, the concept of red-eyed Super Saiyan has faded into obscurity and has simply been reduced to one of those cool production pieces of trivia that only hardcore Dragon Ball fans know about, sorta like how False Super Saiyan was originally intended to be the main Super Saiyan form, because Toei Animation had no idea what the form was going to look like in the manga since those chapters weren't released at the time of the movie's production. Or it's like how Super Saiyan power came about due to an animation mishap where Goku's Super Saiyan form had to be recolored in episode 195 to match his black hair because he ended up turning Super Saiyan in episode 194's next episode preview, and Toei Animation decided to keep Goku's SSJ form a secret from Pikkon. And you know me, I love those obscure aspects about Dragon Ball. I think the production history for the anime is interesting enough on its own, but when certain aspects of the series are changed in between episode or movie releases that end up drastically changing something or creating something new altogether, those are some of the most interesting moments to me. That's why, after watching Geekdom 101's video on Red-Eyed Super Saiyan, even though I was already well aware of the design's history and how it was altered during the anime's production process, I was inspired to make my own video discussing what would have happened had Red-Eyed Super Saiyan actually stuck around when the anime first aired. Would it have drastically changed the story of Dragon Ball Z? And believe it or not, to answer that question, yes and no. Unlike False Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan Power, which are both considered to be their own standalone forms, different from the basic Super Saiyan, Red-Eyed Super Saiyan is literally just Super Saiyan, except it would have red eyes instead of green. Even when compared to Super Saiyan Power, which is just a recolored version of Super Saiyan, Red-Eyed Super Saiyan wouldn't have been altered to better match the story moving forward like the black-haired quote-unquote form that we saw during the Otherworld filler. The Super Saiyan form itself would still remain the exact same if it had red eyes instead of green, and as a result, the story of Dragon Ball Z would still play out as it normally would. Goku achieves the form against Frieza, we then go on to see future Trunks, Vegeta, and Gohan achieve it, etc. But thematically, I feel like Red-Eyed Super Saiyan could have helped differentiate the initial Super Saiyan transformation from its full-powered counterpart that we see later on in the Cell arc, all without changing anything about what we already know about either of those two forms, aside from eye color, but underneath the surface, I feel like it could change the story thematically, like what I said. What I mean by that is the initial Super Saiyan form that we see Goku achieve on Namek, the form brought about through rage and anger, would have those red eyes to reflect that emotion. The red eyes would illustrate the lack of control Goku has in that state, and it would signify that this version of the form is unmastered. The piercing red eyes would work very well with the bright gold hair to signify power, wrath, and would help signify that this form contains the raw emotion and strength that we first saw against Frieza, whereas with the full-powered Super Saiyan form, also known as Super Saiyan Grade 4, that form would have the calm and serene greenish eyes that would accompany the bleach blonde hair and peaceful expressions of this new, mastered form. From what we've seen in the mainline anime, the only physical differences between the initial Super Saiyan form and its mastered counterpart, aside from facial expression, is that slight difference in color tone for the hair. Full Power Super Saiyan has a clearly toned down color that, like I just said, looks bleach blonde. It looks like a much more natural hair color, which coincides very nicely with what the form is trying to be thematically, a complete mastery over Super Saiyan, to the point that it almost becomes the second base form for Goku and Gohan during the Wait for the Cell games. It's very different from that striking golden color that we saw way back during the Frieza saga. That bright golden hair of the original Super Saiyan form is very menacing, and just like how the paler color of the Full Power Super Saiyan form reflects that calm nature of that form, the original form's hair color reflects that bold, cold-hearted anger. And I know for many of us, the difference in hair color, that's already enough to signify a difference between the two, and it works very well in context of the mainline series. But I just feel like if Toei decided to go with that red-eyed design that Toriyama drew up for them, and then later on wanted to go with the green-eyed design we all know and love, the difference in eye color would not only make these two forms stand apart from each other even more, but it would help give both of them a unique personality that reflects what that form represents. Think of it kind of like Ultra Instinct Omen and Ultra Instinct, or as a lot of people call it, Mastered Ultra Instinct. These two forms are essentially the same thing, appearance-wise. They both have that same wavy hair design, they have the same functionalities, and the silver eyes remain consistent between both forms. However, the major difference between the two of them that drastically makes people view them as two entirely different things is the hair color. Ultra Instinct Omen has the black hair to signify its lack of mastery. It's essentially Goku incorporating the Ultra Instinct technique into his base appearance, but when he quote-unquote masters it, that mastery is shown with a different color of hair that is no longer black, but instead, it's silver to match Goku's eyes. Not only does this make the two variations of Ultra Instinct more marketable, making it so more toys and figures of Goku could be sold, but it's a visual difference that makes the two forms more distinguishable. That is why I believe the same thing could have been done with the original Super Saiyan, but instead of changing hair color so that they're vastly different from each other, a simple eye color change to signify the lack of control from the basic Super Saiyan form, to the mastery of control full power Super Saiyan has over its emotions, its ki output, and everything in between, I feel like that would have made a huge difference at the end of the day, without making it feel like they're vastly different from each other, because they're not. They're basically the same thing, but they're not the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Red eyes on the unmastered variation, but green eyes on the mastered variation, I feel like that would have gone a long way. But anyways, there we have it everyone, those are my thoughts on how Red-Eyed Super Saiyan could have worked in the overall story of Dragon Ball Z, had its design not been altered by the anime. What do you think about my idea, and would you have personally liked to have seen the Super Saiyan form have red eyes? Leave your comments down below and let's have a discussion. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and if you have any extra thoughts about this discussion, please do me a huge favor, remember to comment, and while you're at it, smash that thumbs up button to help push this video into YouTube's algorithm. The more likes this video has, the more likely it is that other Dragon Ball fans like yourself will see this video. Plus, it gives me an idea of how much you enjoyed today's video. After you drop a like on the video, click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications by clicking that bell icon. That way, you'll be able to see whenever I upload a new video. And if you're a fan of all things Dragon Ball, you'll definitely want to stick around because I make a ton of content ranging from reviews, discussions, speculation videos, and I even make what if videos from time to time. So if all that interests you, you'll definitely want to stick around, share this channel to all your friends, and subscribe. I appreciate any and all support. As always though, thank you all so much for watching today's video, I hope you enjoyed. Until my next video, I will be seeing all of you Dragon Ball fans later. See ya!